All right, hello everybody. Oh, just have my back all of a sudden tense up there. Hi, it's Tuesday. It's card time. We are doing Vintage Cube Supreme tonight. Uh, Anthony Cardstrom, thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate it a lot. Yep, that's the noise. It means that there's a stream happening. So yeah. So today is the last day. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Ends 23rd. So yeah, this is the last day of Vintage Cube Supreme Draft Vintage Cube. Put those words all in a pile, and this is what you get. So yeah, um, kind of want to try some more silly stuff in one of these. See if we can actually make something that looks a little bit minorly maybe aggressive. Hopefully, maybe. Um, my gut says that cards like, there's a couple different colors that could have some nice offensive threats that nobody has answers to without giving up too much. Yeah, you're asking a little bit too much there. No blue? There are dual lands, you know? I can just pick 4 Volcanic Island. Like, you know, my thought process is like, basically that Dark Confidant and Goblin Guide should be able to function, or like Young Pyromancer would be very good in this sort of thing. So that's where I've been thinking on it. So yeah, Vintage Cube. So for those who missed the last time we did this, we did this on Friday last week. Vintage Cube Supreme. So this Vintage Cube is a format that shows up a couple times a year on Magic Online. It is a cube that is vintage power level. It is a cube that has Moxes, Lotus, Time Walk, super powerful. You know, Supreme Draft is a draft format where rather than drafting with 8 players, opening up one of 3 packs, picking your card, passing it to the left, you get 18 packs. You open a pack, pick 2 cards, uh, keep those 2 cards, throw the rest in the garbage, and open a new pack. So your deck is built with 36 cards that are all first and second picks out of a pack that you picked. In the Vintage Cube on here, that means duplicates. And that means how many Time Walks do you want in a deck? Is the answer all of them? I think the answer is all of them. So, yeah, that is what we're up to today. Likely we'll fit 2 in here, so 2,500 almost. Nice. Team Jabro still at the top of the list. Nice, nice. Congrats. So yeah, let's start this up. Let's just roll. All right, what do we got that looks nice here? Nothing like hyper powerful. Nothing, we're not looking at power 9. I see Probe is good, Spell Seeker's good, Fire Ice is good. Dark Writ is good. Elshnorn Wishes, they were interesting. The problem with Elshnorn I have is that creatures are like, sure, whatever, who's playing this. Probe fits into basically anything. You ain't wrong there. I wish Seasoned Pyromancer was a little bit more on the level. Spellseeker grabs every time walk or recall we open. Dark Writ is Dark Writ. That lets us go hog, basically. Probe's an easy pick here. That's free. Free real estate, you know. Not only do I not want to pick Elish Norn here, I don't want to be anywhere near Elish Norn here. Smokestack. Seems slow. I need to find something cool to do with the stack. I'm between Dark Writ and Spellseeker here.
Now, are you sure you don't want to play white and creature heavy
yeah.
in this format?
Right, you know, let's go super all in on that Elish Norn, because that's really where we want to be.
I mean, she's great in the mirror, you know? She'll take out white creature heavy decks, no problem.
I'll grab the Spellseeker, because I know Spellseeker's going to be good. My hope, my idea, my thing I was looking at, thinking about, was that there has to be some form of aggressive card that is good in this format. And I want to find out what that is. You know, just like Dark Confidant, right?
Yeah, and what's his name? Artifact liking, everything else hating Golem.
Yeah. Well, I had that one in my first draft. The trick with the card is everyone's deck is 12 artifacts minimum.
Right, yeah, but I mean, it still makes every spell cost a little bit more.
That doesn't do anything when everyone has 20 mana. Like,
I suppose.
I wish that card was stronger. The fact that it has 5 power, now that's that's
honestly the main reason why I think
the
it
Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do I want to go with here? I know like Counterspell. I'm not sure what else. Maybe I do.
Awake. I woke up.
I mean, the stream.
I didn't sleep all day.
Your stream ended at this point like 11 hours ago. So
yeah. I did only get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep afterwards, but it happens.
Is Teferi worth playing white for?
Maybe. I think so, just because that first line of text is such a, you know, that's a buster against a lot of plans and just cards in general, right?
Hi there. Hello there.
Mana drain, huh? All right.
It's like Counterspell, but better. One thing I was thinking of, well, just thinking a lot about this cube, because I have been, this format, not this cube, is what a cube designed for this format would be like.
So that's just, you're saying a cube designed for this format.
You know, like, what if Red
just
had
expecting you to have power, right?
Right. Like Red has like Red Elemental Blast and Pyroblast, because like in order for that to be playable, it needs to be able to counter.
Yeah, like time walks and recalls.
Yeah.
So I think inherently it would have to be designed as such that it has more blue cards in it.
Yeah, it would be an incredibly parasitic, no, that's not the word, like very...
You would just assume you're playing blue, and therefore there's more chances to get the blue cards you need, like recall. And then, like, things that you build around it outside of that, so... It's like the equivalent of grabbing fixing here is grabbing your recalls and your time walks.
Yeah, like
and then everyone else. Yeah, and then everyone else gets, you know, you choose your color on top of that and grabs that stuff. And it would all have to be stuff that works in with just vintage plans in general. I guess
yeah, like The fixing would have to be like pretty readily available to make the other colors even viable.
Yeah.
Um, like in my mind, I kind of see it how, if you remember the Grixis cube, how like because it's only 3 colors, it has to go kind of like interestingly deep on all those, having a lot of different plans, and
Yeah,
somehow
because
making those work would be.
yeah, there've been historically multiple different plans in each of those like 2 color combinations for
Yeah.
Grixis especially.
So I want to pick
Part of that is because
Geist,
they
but I
excised green
can't.
and white, which were otherwise the 2 like most predictable colors on when you add those in for different plans.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to pick Geist here, but I basically can't because, like, this is also a 3 mana threat with way more relevant text.
Yep.
Geist does strike me as, like, an unanswerable game-ending level threat in a world where creatures don't exist.
That's true. Yeah. When you can't deal with just a hexproof tutu, like the angel, who cares? The angel obviously is doing additional damage and is good, but that's a hexproof tutu and that's invincible.
Yeah. Here we got a Mox, here we got Narset.
Narset and Teferi hanging out to make this the you don't get to play
Yep.
vintage
Well,
duo.
this tells me we're looking for a lot of draw 7s.
Yeah.
That Spirebluff Canal would be reasonable, but Mox Ruby is also red fixing anyways, so.
Mm-hmm.
Ulamog's cool. I feel like
Having
having one of these is important, as we kind of talked about. Like,
having one Eldrazi Titan, specifically the old ones, not the new ones. The new ones actually won't work. It seems pretty important. Also, fantastic seeing this Twister this early.
yeah, especially after we just picked up Narset and we have the whole Breacher.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to
Yeah,
pick the Tundra up here just to make Teferi a little bit easier on us, but I can't
you're not
pass.
passing up a Jet. Yeah, you're not passing up a Mox.
Yep. So, A+ there.
Also, look at this disgusting pack if you would actually open it up in regular vintage.
Right.
Blue.
Oh, God.
Having to choose between Twister and Mox Jet, you probably choose the Mox Jet in most situations, but
Yeah. I
and
also
also Sulfuric Vortex.
Sneak Attack.
Path.
One of the best signets.
Yep. Okay.
Mox, and a big Teferi, a Mole Drifter, a Frantic Search.
Hey, if we're talking about like how like weird and irregular it is to actually answer creatures in this format, I think Mole Drifter is actually pretty solid by itself. You know,
Like, Mole Drifter's solid. The problem with Mole Drifter is that,
it's still too fair.
right, like, I can draw 3 cards for 1.
Yeah, versus drawing 2 cards for
5, you know? So, like, I love Mole Drifter, but this is a world where, you know. Oko, we've shown off. Oko is incredible in this format.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oko feels like you. Target artifact or creature becomes an elk. Artifacts has lots of targets for those, and also create a food token.
Also, making artifacts matters when you have, you know, like. Also, what's killing Oko?
Who cares? Like, not only is Oko like what's killing Oko, Oko is on top of that already super hard to kill because they made him have a +2 and starts with 4 loyalty.
Yeah. So, like,
weird how this trickster guy who's notoriously disloyal and just kind of does stuff when he wants to because he's the Joka baby. Really loyal to you when you have him hang out, honestly.
Yeah, weird. I see Treasure Cruise, which is sometimes always, you know, it's sometimes recall.
Which means it's frequently recall.
Yeah. Stonecoil Ancient Tomb's pickable here?
Probably, yeah. Stonecoil, by the way, probably invincible in this format as well. Protection from multicolor is actually pretty relevant, because honestly, it feels like this is more of a format where you cast monocolored spells.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be big, and you can't it's hard to deal with.
All right.
Bribery. You want a bribery and see if you can actually get anything off of anyone?
Could be usable. Like, if we know they have Eldrazi Titans, that card's going to be really good. I think the card's still the pick here.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't pick it. I'm saying it's probably gonna be like weirdly sad to cast bribery and just see like there's almost nothing you want to take.
I feel like in some matches it's going to be like, here's Eldrazi Titan, and then in other matches it's going to be here. Like, even, like, there's no purpose to hate drafting here. These packs go in the garbage. Like, even against a deck that's like what we had the last couple times, like, worst case, I steal like their Urza, or like even like maybe like Spell Seeker to go grab a recall, like,
and that's still good. That's still not bad.
Makes
it a just kind of weird tutor at that point.
Ooh, more Teferis. There's the young Pyromancer I was kind of mentally
Speaking
thinking
of
about.
Planeswalkers that are really good in Vintage, and this kind of format especially, Dak is primo. -2 gain control of target artifact is pretty much in a lot of ways he's basically at least as good as Zoko, probably better.
Yeah.
He's just a little bit less easy to keep around if they do happen to have a creature.
I'm gonna try this. I'm worried about our 3s.
That's fair. You do also have 3 Moxen though. You might not have to care
right.
much.
I might just be able to cast them. You're not wrong.
Yeah, between your Moxen and your Ancient Tomb, you have a pretty decent amount of colorless ramp.
Yeah. Other picks in here would be like Ponder or Sphinx. Signet would also be like okay, but I'd rather have that Signet be.
How do you win the game right now?
Dealing damage with Hull Breakers.
3-2. A 3-2, just one.
Bribery our opponent. Teferi lock.
Yeah.
Let's grab these, see what we get for. All right, hey, Lotus.
Black Lotus. Okay, hello, thank you.
Got a Jace.
Jace isn't a bad option. Jace is pretty solid. Also, Mystical Tutor.
Yeah, Mystical Tutor is also really powerful.
I like both of those options pretty plenty. Jace or Mystical Tutor.
Yeah.
And then also there's a Lotus right there that you're taking. So.
Yep. The thing I like a lot about Jace is that Jace lets you, like, Jace is the reason this card was like $80 goddamn when it was in standard for.
Yep.
Well, 1, because it has power. 2, because it was in a set that had nothing in it, so it artificially inflated.
Yeah,
but
Origins was a almost worthless set. It only basically had Jace, Nissa, and maybe Gideon, and that was it.
Yeah, so the reason this card is so powerful is that we have, like, okay, Merfolk Looter on its face, sure, whatever. But we have, like, this card draw, Looter that becomes a Snapcaster on the back.
Repeatable Snapcaster, too, because that first one is actually really good at keeping him alive.
Yeah. Again, how do we win? I grab this Stone Coil Serpent.
Sorry, I just saw Questing Beast and it's 7 lines of text.
I know, it's so hilarious.
8 lines, sorry.
Vigilance.
Oh wait, no, it's more than that. It actually is getting an ellipsis cutting stuff off. Fucking love Questing Beast. It's so dumb. Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. What is that text even for? Just can't chump them with dorks?
Yes, that's what it's for. Why are we passing Polluted Delta here? Because I have no duels to use it with. I'm not in black, and like
you have 3 Moxen and a Black Lotus.
Likely to be monocolored. Is something that
Plus
could go on here. Like
the Teferis, I think, are worth keeping in.
I'm thinking about the Arid Mesa here so that we can actually fix for deck to Fury.
Yeah, that's not a bad option. I would take that over the Primetime, probably. I
So
love you, Primetime, but not necessarily in this. Not without something to work with you.
okay, here's a win con finally.
That's a good one. Yep, yeah, go for it.
Cool.
That's a 5/6 with flash that also is a Snapcaster.
Yeah, here's a good way to win. And probably our time to finally pick up the stone coil I've been making jokes about for a while. Like,
Yeah. I'm also thinking we don't have enough artifact mana. I was thinking of that Winter Orb, but I
here's
don't
the
think it's
thing:
enough.
everybody else is gonna have it.
Oh yeah, that's
Like,
right. Yeah,
like
everyone
what's the
else has it
point?
too. Right, good point. Yep, fair enough.
Like I play Winter Orb and everyone goes, "Cool."
This changes nothing.
Right?
That's an artifact count for your metalcraft.
Karn, Tundra. We can finally fix up for Teferis, which is probably fine here.
Just like grab a Tundra and honestly, I like Impulse or Counterspell and over the Karn.
Yeah, well, the thing is, we've seen that counterspell really throws a
Underperform.
like
Or
sorry, overperform in the sense that like
okay.
a lot of decks we've seen in this are like pile of Moxen, pile of these like draw cool spells, and kind of look at our pile, 4 cards that could possibly win the game.
Yeah.
So
Fair.
like
Yeah.
well-timed counter spells. I know there was one game we did last time where we forced an Urza and they conceded. We had no threat. They just left because you know.
Yeah. So Tundra and Counterspell or Impulse, probably Counterspell is
Yeah.
what I would do here. Brazen Borrower. I don't even know what a third of the same Teferi.
That's a fair. Am I willing to play?
Probably only the 2. You draw so many cards, you don't need all 3.
Yeah. Don't know exactly what I care about in here. More forces. Hendrik, thank you very much for giving out 5 gift subs. Congrats to the Jolly Flying Man, Chaz Greymane, Cool Shroom, Tactful Ogre, and Little Cackles. Thank you very much. Yeah, like Relic Force. Still worried about all those 3s, but I guess all the Moxes. Like, I have to. Thinking about Curve is way different in this world, you know? Oh boy.
Yeah. It certainly is. Well, you got Mox Gen, Mox Emerald. Why don't you splash for Leopold? That's another that's another hoser.
Of course.
I like Colonnade. That's a really good pickup. Colonnade, I think, is a solid pickup here.
That's a way to win.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a way to win, and if dealing with a creature is hard, dealing with a land outside of just playing Geddon.
Yeah, the
or
other
Avalanche Riders, but like you're playing red.
Well, here's the other thing about like Colonnade here. Like we look at Mana Drain, that's a pretty easy pickup. If it wasn't Colonnade, what's number 2?
It's a good question.
Like the Leovold.
Yeah, I can't see anything else in here.
I don't have anything to do. Like it just doesn't shrug, you know. Another Spellseeker, Volcanic Island. All right, that
Volk Island is not a bad idea, so you can play that deck.
Yeah, Volk Island with Arid Mesa too also is a lot better fixing potential. This is the time to get this.
As your second to last pack?
Goodbye, Gush.
Yeah, I see a Gush. Would be nice to actually have that Gush, honestly. Like, I feel like it would be a genuinely good card here, but
I kind
I
of
think
like
that.
the idea of getting these lands functioning for this, and these
Mhm.
will. That Delta just better than Mesa?
Mesa can grab. Yes, because specifically because the Delta can also just grab the Volk Island you're picking up right now,
Right. Like I'm
and you
just
already have an Arid Mesa if you want to grab a specifically a Plains.
yeah. All right. Final pack. We can put our Eldrazi in the deck.
Yeah, I like that actually. Just go grab Emrakul just as a final backup thing.
Yeah, we don't even need to include it in the main. That could be like a side when we know that this
Yeah,
garbage is going down. But like it seems
you
so.
find you spot someone playing Storm, and they're like, okay, put Emrakul in to prevent brain freeze.
Yeah. Grab that last volcanic island to make. Right. Of course, this is final pack with Channel Emrakul. Yeah, let's grab that. The problem with Yori and Blink All Your Walkers is that it returns them at end step, so you don't get like double use. You just would get to like.
Also, if you grab Yorion here on Booster 18, you're playing every single card you pick. Because you have to have a 60 card deck to play Yorion as a companion. I guess
We'd
you'd
be
not.
playing a
You
main
wouldn't.
Deck. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
alright,
that
fair.
that would literally be a main deck card because it's almost impossible to get that to work as a companion.
Mhm.
All right. So let's take out all this. We need to make 2 cuts.
um, one of the forces, maybe? You have two, double dose counterspell proper, dose mana drain.
Yeah.
I do like keeping one force in, though, for sure.
How good is Wire in this format?
I don't know.
I
It's going to hit mana rocks, is the thing. They're
yeah,
going to force them to tap mana rocks.
but like, is it gonna come down just way too late to do anything?
Maybe, because Tangle Warrior does specifically just call out permanents in general, right?
But
Like,
you have to tap artifact, creature, or land.
okay, right, all right. Does not call out permanents
I
because then you'd just be able to do planeswalkers, right?
I don't think it does. The other thing is that one of the most powerful, places for Tangle Wire is like if we were again in that position where I talked about like a young pyromancer, something where we're pressuring our opponent that buys us 2 turns. I am not a deck that's pressuring anybody.
No,
I'm not. I'm not
your equivalent of pressuring them is just making sure that you draw cards and they don't. That's
right.
it.
So like the Tangle Wire is just doing nothing.
Yeah, I guess another option is, do you want to main deck the Emrakul or is that a sideboard card? I think it's fine to main deck Emrakul, honestly. I don't think it's a bad idea.
The thing is, we're down to one last cut, so we only need to find like if we put Emrakul on the board, that's the last move we have to make.
Yeah.
That easily could just be it.
Yeah.
Bribery is target opponent. You cannot bribe yourself.
Yeah. Otherwise that actually would be an absurd card in blue if you could bribe yourself. That just
Yeah,
super show and tell, grab anything from my entire deck, put it on the the board.
yeah. Like Emrakul is basically only coming down in like hyper late game or like weird mana drain scenarios, right?
Yeah, I mean you have 2 mana drains. It's not
Yeah.
not impossible for it to happen. You've got
So
3 Moxen, a Black Lotus, and an Ancient Tomb. So on turn 1, if you wanted to, you could slam down 8 mana.
let's thirst with this. Spellseeker tutors recall. So
Yeah,
and there is not a bot that will.
yeah.
There's not a bot set up in there at the Mo. I don't.
It
If you,
tutors recall most of the time. Can also grab a counter spell, which is telling your opponent that you have a counter spell, but that is also sometimes valuable,
mhm.
especially if you then pull out the second counter spell that was already in your hand.
Is Thirst fine as draw 3, discard 2?
Because you're probably not discarding any of your artifacts to it. Like, there's very little chance of that happening.
It's basically like I drew a Mox off it, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try the Emacruel in the main.
Yeah,
We'll
I don't
see
think
if
that's a
it's-
bad idea.
We'll see if it's just useless. I figure there's gonna be a number of times where it's gonna be sitting around doing nothing.
I wish you had gotten a Mox Pearl over one of the Emerald or Jet.
All right, let's get these in here. And I'm not even playing a normal,
You don't need to play a single normal, mountain or
we probably play one Plains.
one plane sounds fine, but everything else, yeah.
Just like we do want to activate Colonnade. You know?
Generally speaking, you want to make it so that Arid Mesa will not fail to find, I think.
That's the other bit. This only has 4 targets.
Yeah.
All right, and this also includes only 2 lands in the entire deck, 2 lands that don't tap for blue, and like, obviously our Moxes that are off color. All right, let's have some fun with this. We finally found ways to win. I can deal damage.
You got a few ways to win. I like it. I like your ways to win. When you draw this many cards, and you're gonna draw a lot of cards, you're gonna be pretty good, I think, at making sure your opponent dies because you played a big 5/6.
Yeah.
I feel like most of the time it's gonna be the Gear Hulk over the Colonnade.
Right, that's the way I imagine a lot of these games are going to end. I'm also imagining just games where Hull Breacher deals like 15 damage.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty nice that Hull Breach is a 3/2 as opposed to a 2/2. Ends the game a lot faster.
I
really doubt that your opponent is going to be playing something so expensive that Mana Drain will cause you to be able to play Emrakul, unless
the thing is, if we're in like a position where like we already have 6-7 mana or something like that, and we get to counter their Karn. I don't know, that's something that could occur.
The thing is that like if they do something ridiculous, like they channel early into their own Emrakul or something, and you have the chance to counter it with Mana Drain, and you have your Emrakul in hand, you won because you countered the Emrakul.
You
can't be countered.
You did
right?
not win by countering Emrakul.
Sorry, you countered the channel. That is what won the game.
Few people have won by countering.
They played their Ulamog.
Yes.
Bam. There we go.
There we go. That'll work.
See, now since I said that, I was right the whole time.
They'll just play the other Emrakul.
Yeah. That one says protection from colored spells. That's different.
No, this one says protection from colored spells. That one says protection
Sorry,
from
that one
instants.
says protection from instants. Right. When you counter with your sorcery speed counter spell, you're good.
All right. Yeah, sure. This is slow, but whatever.
Yeah.
All right, how fast are opponents going out the gates?
Island.
Sol Ring. All right, good.
It's pretty fast.
Sol Ring into a Signet. All right.
Yep.
It's you. Who bribery me?
Tinker. Okay.
Okay.
Blightsteel. Time Walk. I believe we are. I think the word is.
So I said we had a little slow of a start.
Yeah.
Little slow. All right.
A little slow.
That's fine. Well, what I'm gonna do
Is ship it back because there's nothing you could have done about that?
is be on the play.
Yeah, there you go.
Now that's
That's
all right,
strategy.
that's our strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'd love to play first. Oh, force the
Hey,
negation?
this has got
Thank
force
you.
it. Yeah, force that tinker immediately. Yeah, keep that in hand forever. Just drop it. Who cares about Teferi? You know, Teferi's bullshit. We gotta force that tinker.
All right. Yep, Mox
Well, Mox
Diamond.
Diamond.
Discarding an island.
See, here's the thing. That was a turn 2 kill off the back of an extra turn. So basically it's a turn 3 kill. That's different.
I hope
This
here.
this guy over here got a turn 1 kill off of Storm Start like a few days ago.
That was
All
fun.
right. It was pretty good.
All right, brainstorm. Yep. I will just Teferi next turn. Like,
Yeah.
yup. That's mana.
Tolarian Academy also gross.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, Mox. Excited to almost get to Big Teferi because that's actually quite strong resolved.
Big Teferi would do some serious work, yeah.
I think I'm just gonna play these and pass. Let's see what they're
Because
up to.
I think the card that you'd most likely discard to force is Small Teferi here, right? Like,
Yeah. Like, Twister could easily come up with a game ender.
Fact is going to grab Tinker, which means you allow them to have the Tinker, then you force the Tinker, right? Okay.
Kind of want them to have that Blightsteel stuck in hand.
Yeah, I feel like they're probably going to grab the Mind Twist over this because it's going to be something in their hand. You know, they're going to probably just let it get tossed in the grave so they can go ahead and grab.
They have a Mox Diamond, yes.
Yeah, it's they're going to let the discard happen because it gets shuffled in, and then they can tinker it again.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to grab the Mind Twist here regardless of what's on it. So I think leaving it alone is correct.
If they go with these, that gives them like a lot of land. They might be able to like Academy power it out, but even that requires a little bit of help. Let's go this way. I want them to pick the Mind Twist. Okay.
Yeah, they picked the Mind Twist. That's what I thought.
Yep. So they can twist for all of it. That's fine.
You let them grab Emrakul?
Protected from
I
colored
guess.
spells, right? Well, oh, the problem here is if they don't grab. Actually, okay. The thing here is if they grab Emrakul, I love this. If they grab like Torrential Gearhulk, this sucks.
If they grab Torrential Gearhulk, they just Factor Fiction again, right?
Yeah. So like I counter this with Force, and then they get to Mind Twist me for 2.
Which basically means you lose your entire hand no matter what happens.
Well, all but 1. I can hard cast this.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think because the Gearhulk, like I'd love to be able to bounce the Emrakul, but the Gearhulk is too much of a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You any of the 3 cards you could have kept in hand were okay. Drain is good backup.
Yeah. Probably just hold that.
Yeah. So they've got 1 card in hand. It's probably just a land.
Yeah, but like holding Drain. Because like Teferi would be like Teferi, bounce, Mox, flip Jace. Actually, that's probably fine because I should have another blue after that. So like Teferi, bounce this Mox.
Okay.
It's not another blue, but
right. But you have something to discard.
yeah. So flip.
Fairy.
All right.
Huh.
Oh,
You didn't have a target for the creature.
no, it's up to one.
Right?
It's up to one.
Yeah.
My mind was just like, I can't. My mind said, you can't do this, hit 6. And then the moment I hit 6, it's like, you're an idiot. You can do that. All right.
Okay. Bribery, they shuffled in the Blightsteel. Just grab the Blightsteel.
Yeah. Also, they can't stop this.
Yeah. Because you just,
Well, I have a Teferi in play.
Oh, right, yeah. They can't counter
They
it.
can't counter this.
Hello, friend. What if instead we tinkered your Blightsteel? They also have Hull Breacher, and they don't have a Twister, though. Yeah, they grabbed the Hull Breacher, but they didn't grab any Twisters.
They had a wheel.
Okay, fair. That works.
All right. Okay.
The fist fight over Blightsteel Colossus that this game was.
This is just all Blightsteel all the time. All right. So I sadly have to make a play mistake going into game 3.
What's that?
I'm on the draw. That is clearly a mistake I am choosing to make.
Yeah, that is a bad decision
Yeah,
right there.
You know.
On a good deck, on a good hand, for what it's worth, your opponent can...
Ooh.
This has got some moves.
I like it.
It does have the Emrakul in hand, but you can discard to Jace.
Yeah.
And also, yeah.
I like having the force here.
On a good hand off of your opponent, they can just kill you on turn 2. Like, yeah. That's fair.
Again, if they tinker right now, I just force it, so...
Mm-hmm.
So, the play here in my mind is play this Lotus, play the island, pass.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Wait for them. I'm holding 2 counter spells. Getting Mana Drain would be pretty nice.
Yeah, Mana Drain would lead into basically anything else in your hand, except for Teferi at Narset.
Yeah.
Of course. So actually, you would just lead to Jace. Is that a problem?
It's annoying, but I don't think it's a problem because Force Exiles.
Right, okay.
Because Force Exiles, that's not going to buy them a second attempt at a combo turn. It is going to help them find the combo.
Yeah. Volk Island's actually a super nice draw here.
I'm just going to play Teferi, Hero of Dominaria here.
Yeah, go for it.
Because like
you've got the force back up, and this Teferi is a
buster.
Is an annoying card to play against.
Well, because also it's untap 2 lands.
Mm-hmm.
So I get my Mana Drain back up too. Like,
okay.
Okay, this gives them a treasure. Annoying because I can't Mana Drain it at the Mo.
Yeah, you would have to. You can't force it either,
No.
right? That's not creature.
Okay, so they
It's
get
not force of will.
They get a treasure token for that. That's fine. Of
Oh,
note.
cute. Beginning of next end step. It's just cute that that's how Teferi's untap works. You know,
Yes.
instant man over there who loves instants.
Okay, discarding a Mox. Hull Breacher also is the thing with Hull Breacher is that it is actually a threat at Teferi. Just
Yeah.
something unusual in these fights.
Because you can't. Yeah, you're not going to be able to do the the berry with him anymore.
Right.
So Narset and then untap again.
The untap will give
Gives
them
him
a
another
treasure, but
treasure.
that's still fine because it lets me leave up Mana Drain.
It makes the mana drain a juicier thing because they just slam a more expensive spell, I guess.
If that was Force of Will, we'd be in a much different position here because the Hull Breacher would be off the deck table.
Yeah, we probably would have forced the Hull Breacher.
Chase is also bad against this.
Yeah, it's just, discard a card, give them a treasure token. Gross.
Mm-hmm. So, like, notably, because Narset is they can't draw more than one, this is literally outside of the draw step.
Mm-hmm.
Basically
Which
mono
means
blue.
that Hull Breacher is any time you draw a card not on your turn.
Okay, that's fine. Alright, you can have a treasure token. The green is colorless. There's no green card in the entire deck. We are
That is
playing.
a 0 mana artifact that taps for colorless in this deck.
Yep. There is no green, no black in the deck, but there are cards that make green or black mana because they are Moxes and I can play them over lands.
Mm-hmm. Mox Ruby is relevant purely for deck fading.
Yep. Alright.
Mirror Signet. Okay, they're getting as much mana as possible. They don't seem to have anything to do with it.
Problem is,
Yeah. The Hull Breacher is killing you.
It's exactly what I talked about.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Getting Jace down doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and it leaves behind mana drain shields.
Because, I can't loot.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing anything with this Jace yet. Is this an in-step Factor Fiction? Hell no. You're not getting another 3-power threat. Alright, here's our win con. They hard cast Blightsteel and we mana drain it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's Flip Jace. They're gonna brainstorm twice.
They're at 9 mana right now. They only need 3 more to be able to hardcast Blightsteel.
Yeah. The reason I didn't force there is because I still want to keep up this as our way to... For one, the Jace is, free to pitch to it. Now is that worth?
Fact, huh? The adage is that you don't counter the enabler, you counter the final product, right?
I
don't know if that counts. Factor Fiction is so versatile, though.
The problem is
right?
that with Factor Fiction here, they have an onboard Snapcaster Mage and the ability to double cast the Factor Fiction if they wanted to.
Yeah.
So,
even if you do counter it, they're gonna get it through anyway.
No, Exile.
Oh, Exile, right. Yes. And you're just gonna pitch the Jace, right? The Jace is not doing anything with Hull Breacher on board.
Yeah. God, this hand.
This does make it so that their hand is nothing. They've got nothing.
Yeah. They can like flashback to Brainstorm, but they already know the top 2 cards of their library.
Yeah.
So if they flashback to Brainstorm into Tinker and get me, yeah, you got me. That's fine. Sure. What do you do? L5? Okay. I'm not actually worried about that because I'm worried about this first. Alright. Okay, I want you to hardcast that. You've got access to 9 mana?
It's still 9. Yeah.
Damn.
They need 3 more,
All
which
right.
is... I didn't see a Lotus in their deck, so they're not going to just slam Lotus and the next turn slam Blightsteel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're actually at a weird place right now where both of you have basically no cards in hand, but unfortunately they've got a 3-2, which means they're winning.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's a flashback Brainstorm.
It really is the strangest of like format where that is so powerful. In the unanswerable 3-2 because no one plays any removal.
Yeah, that was my thought process on again,
Yeah.
what I want to do is I want draft 2 to be forcing like a young Pyromancer plan.
Yeah, I'm for it. Yeah.
I would also accept Dark Confidant plan, but like that's the line I want to go.
Mm-hmm. You just want to work creatures in somehow because this is now like draft 3 of none creatures left beef. Which is understandable. It's just the format, right? Like
Yeah, that's the
that's going to
format.
happen. So we want to see if we can do something with it. And one that is based off of just also still casting spells, but getting incidental value out of it to kill your opponent seems like a pretty good play.
Right. They're not gonna slam Emrakul, it's not in their deck. We briberied them, we know their deck at this point.
Their biggest creature is Blightsteel, and
their next biggest
second
creature's
biggest
in play.
creature is Hull Breacher.
Is in play.
They have a Spell Seeker as well as their third and last creature because I'm not counting Jace.
Yeah.
Jace is almost always the Planeswalker form.
Again, we just are slowly falling over. Playing lands because we want to get this 6 because Gear Hulk is one of the outs.
Mm-hmm.
Mind Twist for 2. Right?
No, just
They're
cycle.
cycling and they're not going to cycle again. That's Flood Blue? Like what? They're just cycling that.
I think that was purely just they're drawing through their deck. That's all that is. Might be digging for the Tinker. Or just more mana to just hard cast it, because they might be digging for it as well at this point. The faster they get to it, the better for us, though, at this point, I think. Brain Freeze for only 6 cards.
Sure.
Yeah, that's basically harmless.
That might be actively helpful.
Mm-hmm. They could flashback the Brain Freeze to do another 8. Not 8. Sorry, 9 and then 12.
Yeah, but like that's fine. I just kind of I'm already dying on board, and all I have to do to save this is discard Emrakul.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really, because this is, for 12, I go to 6 cards in deck, sure.
And then they sack the treasures and then Mind Twist you for 1, and then it's like, oh man, we got a 50-50 chance of just getting our entire deck back.
Alright, what did we lose? Stone Coil, Gear Hulk, Recall, back. Oh my god, are you actually... Oh! Ew! Oh no.
So you...
I can't do anything here.
Yeah, you can't do anything about this.
Help. Help. Emrakul, help. Emrakul, help. Emrakul, help. Please. Emrakul, help.
Well, Well.
Sometimes Emrakul is they just drew the second. They flash back to the first.
Mm.
Emrakul, please. My family is dying.
I didn't notice that they had two of them. I only saw the one brain freeze in their deck when they searched it.
They had 3 cards in hand. They might have just been holding.
That's fair. Yeah, they might have just had it. Yeah, good point. Didn't think about that. This hand is slow.
I'm gonna keep it because I like Dag.
Fair.
And we're on the play. If I die on
Right
one
back.
again.
So it goes. I'll be right back. If I come back and you're on game 2 already, then we've got somewhere, you know?
Mm. I'm cracking this now so I don't get, like, obliterated by an opposition agent or whatever. I feel that's more likely than Wasteland in this format. If I get Wastelanded, you got me. But I feel like fast mana into an opposition agent is actually the more probable thing that'll kick my ass. So show me the Wasteland, make me look like the fool, please. I just want you to know that was an active choice, not me just being lazy. Okay, it's not a Wasteland. Okay. Counterspell is ready to go. I'm excited. Okay, getting black. Ooh, swamp. Ooh, that's interesting. No, thank you. I could have bounced it, but they could just replay it, and I actually worried about the 1/1s being too strong for me to kill quickly. Okay. Next turn, I get to recall plus deck. Hopefully, there's something to steal. Okay. Oh my god, there actually was an opposition agent. Alright, cool. Oh! Hmm. 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 That's not what I expected there. What was that concession? I don't get it. Okay, that's a pizza concession. Got it. Got it. That's the only thing that makes sense. That was a pizzas here concession. All right, let's move to 3. Yeah. Well, on to the last. We'll talk, Mr. Wrestling Draft. Maybe. Perhaps if we get into game 3, we'll just treat it as though it's round 2. So hopefully we find an opponent. These go by so fast. Now, pizzas here is I'm convinced pizzas here is a real thing. You know, that's a pretty normal happenstance. I remember, I remember a number of moto drafts that I've just sort of like started up, and then like somebody messages me and says, "Hey, we're doing a thing," and it's like, "Oh, all right, goodbye." You know, not when I'm streaming, obviously, but like I think it was Future Sight. I remember like starting up a draft, getting pick one, and then getting a text that's like, "Hey, we're going to such and such. You coming?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, okay." It is how it is. Nowadays, that's a lot more. In these queues, that's a lot more even reasonable because these are like 100 play points. You know, nothings. They're not something I can really get out of the system. Queue sure takes. I'm kind of surprised how slow the queue is in this with 2,500 players. Sure, this is fine. Because we're on the play and have the counter. Might be able to catch him with the breacher. Oh, the auto build. I've played with and against the auto build. Both sides of that. Uh it's something. It's really something. I'm actually convinced that Teferi 5 is good in this. If our deck is slow enough to take advantage of Teferi 5. Like, we have so much stuff to use at instant speed. Like, I say we, not necessarily as the deck, we do, but like the cube does. Literal counterspell, ancestral recall, hull breacher effects. And also, target non-land permanent 3 down is pretty hefty ways to get rid of like cheated in threats. Same with Little Teferi, does that too. Little Teferi is a good way to get rid of cheated in threats. You know, they Tinker Blight Steel, we move on, bounce it, and they go, oh. Alright, I'm gonna play the other side of the coin. If they try to make enough mana to opposition agent, that's when I'll Polluted Delta, but... Okay, Tundra. Just in case. Alright, this sucks. Hopefully it's not too bad. I can't counter this because it's turn 1. Hopefully the damage isn't like a Hero of Blade Hold. It's funny, that's the scariest thing, right? Like, they play Hero Blade Hold here, I die. Okay, triple black. Mind Twist? Oh, boy. I sure am glad I have Hull Breacher to pressure that, but oof, that's not great. Alright, what's the damage? Gear Hulk and some cards. Didn't have a force for that. They can get the Gear Hulk out? Oof. Okay, hopefully Hull Breacher does some work. Yep. Recall Bribery to Fairy 3. I can Teferi 5 next turn. I want them to end step some card draw. Don't hit my Eldrazi. It's my only ask. Mana Drain, Force, Arid Mesa. Sure. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to Teferi and we're going to minus on Ashiok. Because with Hullbreaker in play, they should not be able to draw back into it. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, that one's bad. I'm going to put that one as pretty bad for us. We are looking to draw... Can't be Gearhulk, that'd be one of the best. We have another Teferi Small, but Teferi Small doesn't answer this. Okay, there's Jace under that.
Round 4. Turn 4.
So they Lotused out in Ashiok, and it's been very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, that's Ashiok, isn't it?
Huh.
Did they just grab your Hull Breacher this way?
They just grabbed our Hull Breacher, which turns off our...
Okay.
I think that's the game?
That's probably the game. Ashiok, huh?
Ashiok's unstoppably good, if you don't
Ashiok is a really good card. Yeah, let's move on. We're losing that one within a couple turns, so... Okay. Yeah, Ashiok turn 1... Yep, that's a play I need a Force negation for, you know? Yep. Had to have the Force in hand. That's pretty much Vintage 101, right? Like...
Yeah. Because our level of pressure on that Ashiok is non-existent. Obviously no sideboard. I'm feeling the creature lightness of this deck. I think that's sort of the running theme of this deck, is that, like, all of our counters on 2 are just not good enough. This
too
is
slow.
Way too... This is every top-end piece on our deck.
Yeah. There you go. This is like shields up. Wait, hold on. This only has single blue. No!
Well, we can fetch a second blue.
Yeah, it's just, it only has single blue on turn 1, which is frustrating.
Which means if they have it, I'm out.
Yeah, it's... I think you gotta go for it, though. I don't see a, Oh, okay, I absolutely could see a 5 being better than this. Like, Ancestral Recall can be in hand at any point.
Their 5's better than this. It's just...
Speaking of recall, pretty would be nice to see it. You know?
Let's play some Moxen. This should be a threat.
I mean, it looks intimidating for certain.
This hopefully is enough for them to just not fucking do anything. Pass on one style, you know?
Yeah. All right. The moment that you put this polluted delta down, you have shields up at this point, and that's gonna be good. Also, that shield's up by itself for in its own way, but do you want to do that before you have counterspell or drain
No,
back up?
we're waiting on that.
Yeah.
Because their threat is a card that Teferi can't answer.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, this is an empty turn then. I want to see you grab just island. Island would be great. That doesn't function, unfortunately.
I'm going to treat it as though it does.
All right. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, all right. Okay, there you go. Now you're good. That's some good shit. There you go. That solves all problems right there.
Yeah, okay. Good. Thanks to Fury. And there's the swamp. Slam down Ashiok. I don't care. I'd rather... They're not fast manning out a...
Yeah. This gets rid of the force, probably, but that's okay.
It means they have to walk... They now have to, like, make their plays knowing that, you know, counterspells are real.
Oh, they mana drained. Maybe they want to... No, okay.
I'm gonna put that on the table. Yeah, we can't lose a counter war.
Yeah, this means you can cast both counters in the same turn if you have to.
That's the reasoning for it. I don't like that.
Will destroy you. Yeah. That makes your hand worthless. This can't resolve.
We use force on that, in my mind, because they have, like, if they have, like, a creature, you know, a hull breacher. Nice. That's good because they don't know about it.
Yes. You've given Hull Breacher Flash. It now has Flash.
Well, sorceries.
Oh, sorry. Right, yeah.
Other
okay.
Teferi gives...
Yeah.
We had a time walk. We could flash time walk for no reason. We can Twister it, like, instant. But if I draw Twister, I'm just Hull Breacher Twistering, and the game ends on the spot because they go to 0 cards, and we get a billion treasure.
Gives you a billion treasures, and you have 7 cards in hand. Make Believe Reborn. Okay, now if you Twister, both of you lose everything, and you both have your... Yeah, I know, this is probably fine.
If they Ashiok here, it's annoying, but we can answer it by just attacking.
Yeah. Okay, extra Teferi. Does Flash supersede that?
No, nothing supersedes Teferi's text.
So same deal. You got to put the Hull Breacher down to deal with this Teferi.
They're just gonna bounce it. Like, but it's better to play that and use our Lotus than not to, because that puts the Teferi unused. They will get... So it goes in order, so they will get the card. It doesn't block the card draw.
Right.
However,
they can't do that again.
Correct. Also, however, they're the one with a hand.
Yes. There's a problem.
3 cards unknown versus our... There's no reason to bluff here. Like, there's no reason to hold back a land because we both have Teferis. Like, nobody can bluff anything.
This is no instant zone.
Yeah.
Everyone is slow. Slow down.
Mm-hmm.
The pool is closed.
Fact or fiction?
Remove the concept of the stack entirely from the Gonti's annoying.
Because I don't want
Your opponent only deals with just stealing your stuff and having creatures you can't deal with.
I don't want to bounce Gonti is the problem, but I'm going to have to get Teferi off the table.
Yeah. At least you draw a card, too.
We can assume that that's Gonti stealing, like... Gonti stealing Counterspell doesn't do anything. Gonti stealing Recall doesn't do anything. Gonti stealing... God, like, worst case is like Gonti stealing... Gearhulk.
Yeah. Kites. Your opponent actually has creatures. It's wild.
Well, they're worthwhile creatures.
Yeah.
Like,
now you can't even... I guess you still have to bounce Gonti. Like, you need to at least force them to block. Ugh.
But that gives Gonti another theft line.
Yeah. And you can't bounce it again afterwards.
I don't hate that.
I don't know, just make a big buster?
Can't be answered by Teferi.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's my line here. I'm not actually going to minus Teferi because I don't want Teferi to be murdered. I feel like this will be enough. All right. Now, let's ask the question everybody gets to ask. Do they know about Reach? We have the secret Reach on the table. The unknown stealth Reachy. Magic Online players are a lot more likely to know that, or from, like, just from having played with cards like these, it's a lot harder for them to fall for it. If they bribery, that'd be okay. Oof. Okay. Now the thing here is, like, they can't, like, overcommit to attacks. It's very silly. We're having creature combat in this. How messed up is that? Okay. So, the most important thing to me in this situation is that Stonecoil Serpent is protection from Teferi. So they can't just bounce it and walk through. I don't think they'd want to spend their Teferi in that way out anyway. They can bounce my Hull Breacher and do some nonsense. That's a possible line. If they have, like, powerful enough card draw in their hand, they might choose that line. Just based on how powerful Hull Breacher's lockdown is. Look. Okay. Our opponent has a set of good creatures. Really liking the 4-mana 2/2s. Those are real good things. You know, we got some of the strongest 4-mana 2/2s in Magic right here. We're still winning a counter war. I can Teferi bounce that if need be, if I need to resolve a spell. That's not a problem. You can't attack Teferi. We got Stonecoil Serpent in the way for that. I want to draw Twister. I really want to draw Twister. It's the best card in our deck right now. If I Twister with Breacher in play, I do not see how I'd possibly lose. Recall. Recall's a good second. You're not wrong. Sure. Plus Fury. Probably attacking with Gonti. Final card in hand is known. Okay. No attacks with Gonti. Uh... Okay, let's take a little bit of a think. Our opponent's almost empty-handed. They're not actually empty-handed. You might think, well, there's 0 cards up here. No, they got this still. I can bounce Glenlunder Archmage, but what am I resolving through that, right? Like, if I do that, I like drawing the card. I really would want to draw something off that does something. What am I looking for there? Actually, there's a lot of good draws there. Once our deck got 3 land-ish cards in the grave, 8 in play. That means 22 cards, 6 mana sources remain. It's like 1 Mox, Ancient Tomb, and some other stuff. If I don't bounce Glenlunder, what'll happen? Damn, this is... Okay, what's Stasis look like here? What is neutral? Neutral still leaves them with... Do I go threaten their Teferi then? Like, minus Teferi, attack theirs? Not a land. Easy worst possible there. The problem is I don't think I can play a waiting game here. The reason I took the action rather than waiting is because with Gonti and the onboard counters, as their Teferi gets better, sooner or later they just like bounce Hull Breach or push in on mine. And I don't have enough of a kill to stop that move. The problem here is that next turn when they re-resolve Glenelendra, that's gonna be effectively the end of the game. Like, I needed to draw something live there, and that did not go anywhere. Final card is... Thinking, yes, Gonti doesn't need to be... Oof. Tragic. Alright. Yeah. It sucks because, like, if we didn't pull the trigger there, I don't think we get any better position. Because the Ashiok starts roasting us and we can't answer that. Alright, good to know. Let's go ahead and leave that one. That's fine. Teferi was pretty strong. Not both simultaneously, not as strong as I thought, and also stronger than expected. Yeah, it's very obvious what the issues with our deck were. Literally nothing. Like, we had a reasonable amount of disruption in counterspells, but like I couldn't stop anything on the board nor pressure a planeswalker that resolved. So like once our opponent got anything through, the game has ended, you know? So anyway. So, all right. Let's do another of these. That'll be fun. One moment here.